going to do a little bit of a review along with a speed paint. Recently I purchased a few new pencils that I'm going to be reviewing, and the one we're going to talk about today is the Derwent Inktense Pencils. This is going to be just a small review and first impressions video along with a speed paint on this little soap. A friend of mine owns a shop called Spicy Pinecone, and this is her soap, Sweet Thang. It was really fun to paint, and these were really fun to use. So if you're interested, stick around for the review. So this is the Derwent Inktense 24 pencil case. I ordered these on dickblick.com. You can find them mostly on the internet. I've seen a few small packages at Michael's and maybe Hobby Lobby, but I haven't found any of the big cases in any of the stores. They are on Amazon, dickblick.com. I mean, just about any online store where you can purchase art material or painting supplies, you'll probably be able to find them. Now, these act like watercolor pencils, but they dry permanent. I purchased these because I wanted something that I could use with my watercolor that I could work over top of without worrying about washing it out or diluting it at all with water. These go on, they can be used as a dry medium because it technically is a color pencil, or it can be used as a wet medium like watercolor. They come in the pencil form, and they also come in the black form. I think I will be purchasing the black form because they look just as promising as the pencils. For these, you can use them as a dry medium, just like a colored pencil. So you could do something along those lines if you wanted the color pencil effect, or you could take something like this water brush. This is just a Pentel Aquash brush, and you go over it. And what you're going to get is just a vibrant inky wash. Now, when these dry, they are permanent. One thing I did notice when I was working with them, be pretty purposeful of where you're putting your color, because once it's dry, you can't remove it. Like I showed in this, you can use it by brushing it on and then watering it down, or you can lift color right from the pencil itself. I really like this coming in with the details. Now, when you are, like I said, when say you're sketching out an image, you want a watercolor, sketch lightly and then go back and add color where you need to. Because if you're not careful and you push down too far, you might be left with a grainy background underneath your wash. Now what I'm going to do is I have done a test chart here of all the colors, and I'm going to show you in a little speed paint what they look like washed out and what they look like dry. And then this little test here, this is just, if you look right here, this is the Sherbet Lemon. And I just wanted to show you how it works when you put color over it after it's dry. So now it is permanent, it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to take this fuchsia and load my brush up, and I'm going to go right over top of that yellow. And then I'm going to wash it out. So you can still see, the yellow peeking underneath, and it has not moved. Now these pencils are affordable. Like I said, you can find them discounted on certain sites. Wait for the sales. They are definitely worth the price. So they're affordable, definitely worth it in my opinion. So for this, I'm going to speed this up just so you guys can see. First, I am going to show you though, this does come with two pencils that aren't necessarily used in the way that these are. It comes with an outliner pencil, which just seems like a graphite pencil. It is not water soluble, like, well, I guess to some extent, but you're still going to have the lines, but it's not water soluble like the rest of the pencils. You also get an antique white, and it does work very well for highlights, and I'm sure if you were using a darker paper it would show up. But what I've done, I've colored in or painted in some of the ink black here. I'm going to load up my brush with some white, and I'm just going to go over that to show you guys. And you can use this while the paints are still wet to lighten up any colors you want, or I use it to lighten up areas, and then for highlights it's wonderful. So that's just some of the white, just to show you, because I knew it wasn't going to show on this Bristol board. Just want to show you here. These layer extremely well. They build up color very well. You do need to try between layers, just like with any watercolor, but you know, these will be permanent. So I'm just going to show you with a different color here on top of what we already have. Let me go with this bark color. It is one of my favorites. Then I'm going to do the speed paint of all the colors and how they transitioned from dry media to wet. And then I'm going to do a speed paint of the actual image I painted with this, and there's just going to be commentary along with all that to just go over a few of the other benefits, pros and cons of the Inktense pencils and what I thought while using them. So here I just wanted to show you, you can layer and get details and glaze, and just like with any watercolor, say you don't like it, you can just wipe it right off. You do need to wipe right away, and it may not all come off. So again, have your paintings or drawings planned out and be purposeful with what color you're placing where, and make sure your brush is clean. So just on that fuchsia, I mean, you can build it, you can make it darker. They build well, they blend well, especially while they're wet. Overall, I really like them. It was a great purchase. I would purchase larger sets, and I do believe I'm going to purchase Inktense blocks. I hope you liked the video. The commentary and speed paints are to follow. Any questions, leave a comment down below. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and join us again. Thank you. Here are the colors from the 24 count set that I purchased. You can see on the rectangles, the outside edges are a little heavier handed than the inside. I've done this to show you how the product reacts with water if you're light or heavy handed. The heavier handed, you will still see like some sketchy lines underneath the wash, which could be a desired effect. I'm working on Bristol paper here, and you can see these are very vibrant, beautiful inks. Here we have the speed paint of the drawing. This is an image of a soap from a friend's shop. Her shop is Spicy Pinecone, and she does the most amazing things with soap. If you have not checked her out, do so. I'll put the link in the bottom. So for this bottom layer, you can see here what I was talking about, being a little too heavy-handed. Go in lighter and build your layers unless you're looking for that grainy effect. On this middle layer with the pink, I did go in with that antique white and really lighten that up, and it blended and worked extremely well. Now, as long as it is wet, you can still go in and rework it and help to lift up some of that graininess. Just be careful, like I said, it's safer to build in layers unless you are looking for that effect. And you can see here in the macaroon, that larger swipe, I did not expect it to dry as fast as it did, so once that was on there, it is on there. So that's what I mean about being purposeful with your color, because you can't manipulate it like you can with watercolors. I was happy with how I was able to dilute it and use that same dark brown on the bottom to get my shadows up top, and then I came right in with, I wet the end of the pencil to get the little sprinkles there and drew it right on like a color pencil. You can get a lot of different depths with these pencils. That is the same pink that I used in that middle layer. I just didn't dilute it with the white, and I left it a little crisper. Now here with this little piece of chocolate, I had the hardest time getting this to look how I needed it to. And you can see the paint lifts right up like watercolor. It may not come up as well as watercolor, but you can still lift it up while it's wet to rework it the way you need to. Overall, I really enjoyed working with these. I think I really like going in light and building layers, or just taking the color right off the tip of the pencil. If you've been thinking about using these or trying them out, go in for a smaller set and test them out, or test out the ink blocks. They were extremely easy to work with, and I really enjoyed it.